reason those 2 points are really good is because you caught my eye again. You're not showing all your cards just yet. It's like, you know, you're just saying, you know, you caught my eye. You're not investing too much just yet.
Slightly ambiguous.
Yeah. She's like, oh, what is it? You know. And I had to come up and find out who you are.
You could say something about you caught my eye, and then she might be wondering through the whole interaction what it is.
Like when I'm teaching my guys, I tell them that the spirit of direct is experimentation. You know, like I've had students take something I've said and they've changed it and done it, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty bloody good. You know. So I mean, some of the stuff I teach sometimes it's come directly from students. I'm like, that's gold. Cool. Sweet. Yeah. So take what I'm saying. And yeah, try it. You know, try the stuff I'm saying. But if you think maybe if I try it like that, you know, because direct, like I say, it's more about how to learn how to express yourself honestly, and that'll be different from guy to guy. You know. Yeah. So okay, so you've given that compliment, and again, just touching on that compliment thing, a compliment from a position of high value is, you know, you're judging her, I guess, right? You're approving her. If you're complimenting her on her dress sense, you are a fashion guru. You are the top fashion designer in the world. If you are complimenting her on her boots, you are the best boot designer in the world. Like, I'm not saying tell her that. That's your mindset. You know. If you're saying you love her hair, you're the best hair person in the world. I don't know. You know.
You're the hairiest person in the world.
That's what you are. You know. And I tell guys that, and they feel it. Like when they're approving of somebody, it feels powerful, as opposed to it feels weak when you're doing it to try and get that positive response. You know, and they get a feel for this that when they just do it and they do it and they do it, and that's like just, you know, and they start to feel like it's a power thing, which is nice. You know, and that's when the compliment can really work. So let's say you've gone up, and let's say you've gone direct, and you said, look, I'd be kicking myself. I didn't come over and say hi. I noticed, and by the way, again, the playful thing, I don't take it too seriously. I just like, what it is, I noticed your boots, and now we're going to talk about how to transition, okay? And by the way, here's something you don't do, okay? Once you've given the opener, let's say, I had to stop you. You look absolutely gorgeous. You're just too cute not to open, you know. And let's say she's laughing, and she's like, oh my god, you know. And what you like, I like to leave a little pause, just to take it in, you know. And then what I don't want to do is then just wait for her response.
No.
All right. Because when you wait for her response, it's almost like going, yeah, I think you're really gorgeous. Is that okay? Do you mind? Yeah. How do you feel about that? And what you're doing is you're then asking her to decide whether to continue the interaction, right? And we all know the concepts of leading and everything else, and from me all the way to the end, the man wants me leading the entire thing. But the thing is, if you're kind of, I guess, forcing her to just decide whether or not to continue the interaction that early, when you've only been talking for 4 or 5 seconds, however long
she hasn't got enough evidence to decide.
She's making a decision, a misinformed decision, because she hasn't got enough information yet. It just comes down to that, right? So help her out. You know, don't just go silent after the opener, or go, so what are you up to? Right?
So what's the transition of a compliment?
Okay, the transition is the hardest part of game. It's what takes the most to learn. It won't take you very long to get over your project anxiety with direct. It won't take you long to be able to go up and say you're gorgeous. It's easy, really. You know, the hard part is the transition, right? And this is the part that will take, which is where the practice will come in, and you know, where the real learning curve will happen. And I tell guys, there's 2 things I tell them. First of all, the more you do it, the more you desensitize yourself to it, the more relaxed you'll be, and the easier you will find to come up with things to say and to where to take the conversation. But one of the things I tell guys is, let's say you open her with that you know, that compliment. You know, what most guys are doing is they're in a very logical mindset. They're strategizing. They're not even there listening to her, talking to her. They're somewhere else. They're thinking of that book they read, or they're thinking of that method, or they're thinking, should I qualify? Should I extract? Should I detract? Should I? And they're thinking all these concepts and stuff, and they're not there with the girl. They're thinking, in fact, of the next line to say. And the problem with that, it's like when you're hanging out with your best mate and you're just chatting and just hanging out and stuff, and At no point in the interaction are you strategizing in any way. At no point are you thinking, where can I take this? Where can I? Oh my god, I'm going to run out of things to say in a second. Oh my god, there's going to be silence. Fuck. Right? And it's because you're not outcome dependent. You don't want any kind of particular outcome. What you are is just enjoying the moment. So when I tell guys to go up and just play, just approach the girl with that just playtime, you know. So forget about what, like, just fair enough, after the interaction, for the interaction, that's the time for analysing and thinking about how to improve and stuff. But when you get in there, forget everything. Forget everything I've said. Forget it all. Seriously, just forget everything and just. And it sounds a bit contradictory, I guess, but you want to think about all the stuff I'm talking about, like now and after the interaction. But when you get in there, forget everything, okay? And you want to be like looking at her, and you want to be there with her, not somewhere else, not thinking about where to take this. Just because when you're somewhere else, when you're being illogical, you're closed off. Like you're closed off to the answers about like where am I going to take this conversation? Where's it going to go? What can I talk about? When you're like you're looking for the information in here, but you won't find it in there. It's out here.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of a more general mindset approach to think about, but. Like for actual hands-on, you know, what nitty-gritty, I tell guys one nice thing to do is to elaborate on the opener. Whatever the opener was, elaborate on it. If you've opened up with that thing about your mate made you do it, say, oh, he's always bloody doing this, or maybe I like to elaborate in quite a playful way. So if he's if I say, oh, he knows kung fu, I'll say, yeah, he's like a ninja, my flatmate, and you know, I'm scared of him, frankly. You know, I mean. If I hadn't have approached you. The point is, it doesn't matter what you say, right? It doesn't have to be
it's just to feel that moment.
Yeah,
instead of leaving a silence there.
It's to get over what I see as like a hump, a socially conditioned hump that says don't talk to strangers. And once you're in that conversation, it's easy. It's just like that initial hump, and you've got to kind of guide her over the hump, and after that, it's easy. Then you're in a conversation. Most guys, I don't need to teach how to have a conversation, right? Most guys know. They know how to have a conversation, but I need to give them little tools and ideas just to help them out and remind them that how to have a how to get into that normal conversation with a girl. Yeah. So that's one thing I do. Elaborate on the opener and just, again, all transition are statements. Never transition with a question.
No.
So how? Because whenever you ask a question, you're taking value from the conversation.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's, you know, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but and when you make a statement, you're adding value to the conversation. So the statement, the transition will always be a statement of sorts. So there's one way, which is elaborate on your opener. So if you've complimented on her boots, I'll ask her. I say they look kind of like pirate boots, and I say it's kind of cool actually. I hope you are a pirate because I'm a pirate and I'm looking for staff for my ship. Can you swab decks or something? I don't know. Or if she turns out to be Russian, I'll be like, oh, are you a Russian spy? Or like, I don't know. Like I'll elaborate on the opener. If you can be playful, it's kind of fun, I guess, you know. And often that's often enough, and you end up going off in this little kind of crazy little thing. And another thing you can do is you can transition by talking just with a bit of enthusiasm about your little story that's led up to this little moment. I was in Ireland over the weekend teaching, so every guy opened there when I was doing demos and stuff. My little story that I just transitioned into, again, just to guide them over that hump of like, it's okay, conversation's alright, don't worry about it, is that I was from London, I was over here visiting my mate, and I had this little thing I said where, I tell you what, if you've got to work the next day, don't stay with an Irishman, because you know, you'll be hungover. That was my little transitional piece that I just made up on the spot, which was true, because I had come from London, and I was staying with an Irishman who was trying to get me drunk all the time, and that's often enough, because what happens then is that the transitional statement you make will not only give you ideas of questions to ask her. Have you ever been to London before? Are all Irish like that? Are you a heavy drinker? The statement you make will give you ideas where to take the conversation, but the main point of it is you're just guiding over that.
You're just getting used to. It's not an instant switch from I'm walking down the road to okay, I'm in a conversation.
Yeah.
And if you pepper her with questions before she's had a chance to get into that conversational mode, she'll never get into it and she'll probably leave.
Yeah.
Right? So